guys, it's EGS Warrior again. Today we're going to talk about why PvP in an MMO is important. Talk about why I like PvP, why I think PvP should stay in MMO and not get neglected like some games have been, and what PvP could do to help the MMO genre as it is right now. As we all know, it's not what it used to be. Let's get right into it. So my favorite part about PvP really is just the competitiveness. I love to be able to go in. I may not be good. I'm actually terrible at World of Warcraft PvP, but I love fun PvP. I love going in and showing off my skill. I love trying to get better, and you can do that in a lot of aspects in World of Warcraft. For example, raiding. You can get better at raiding and how to do better DPS, and that's great too. I'm not really knocking on everything else an MMO can do. I just really think I'm trying to focus on PvP and why I think it's fun. I'm trying to show off my skill, and I think a lot of people are like that. When you think about games nowadays, a lot of popular games are competitive games that have a drive of player versus player gameplay. Recently, Fortnite, one of the biggest, in Battle Royale, it's really a chance to show off your skill and fight against people and be the best you can be. Fortnite, Battle Royales, League of Legends is really big, Overwatch, Rainbow Six Siege, Counter-Strike, Global Offensive. Those type of games are all player versus player, ranked types that you can show off your skill and be competitive in. And I think why I love and most people love competitiveness so much is because, when you do something, you want to be able to go to your friends and say, hey, I did this. This is amazing. Or I'm so good at this. You can't beat me. It's fun to do that. People in basketball do that. People play basketballs. They love to be competitive. And I'm not saying that games are sports. I'm just saying competitiveness is a big part of people's lives because they love to compare. And I think PvP is important because you can do that. Certain types of PvP, for example, battlegrounds and arenas and world PvP. There's so many different ways to go off and show yourself, but also just to have a good time. It's extra content. It's really important to have that extra content in MMO because as soon as you run out of content to do, you kind of just stop playing the game. For PvP and raids, once you're kind of done and you gear yourself and that raid's on farm, you're pretty bored. You may only log in to do that raid, or you actually may quit your entire subscription, and that's not really good because obviously MMOs thrive through high player bases, and that's something I think PvP can keep. I think a lot of MMOs are successful at keeping their player base when they have a successful PvP or competitive type gameplay. It doesn't have to be for everybody. PvP is not for everybody. I really don't think it is. I also think it's really important to have a casual side of PvP. There should not be ranked. Just like most of the games I listed before, for example, League of Legends, they have a casual, normal playlist. A bunch of casual games. You don't have to be competitive and feel like, oh my God, I'm losing ranked. You can go and be casual. That's important in games like that. So, casual arena, casual battlegrounds, I think they're important. But I also think there should be a competitive side of that. It's really important to have a competitive side to that game. Just like rewards. Just more content is important, and rewards can help with more content. You don't have to put rewards that are better than other people's gears. Like World of Warcraft and Vanilla. It's really fun to go out and get rank 14, but it's not fun that, people that put their lives aside to get these gear is better than you just because they had more time to do it. That's not what I'm saying with rewards. I think rewards should have special gear that looks cool, that gives you a show. Like in World of Warcraft later down the line, they did gear that was a different color, so you knew, like, oh my God, the guy with the red gear was really good at PvP and he does really well at arenas. And that's what I think is really important. Just like raids, when you do a better raid, you get cooler looking gear. The same with PvP. PvP rewards are special, I think. It adds more content in the game. And I'm going to keep nailing this down. MMOs need content or constant feeling of, fun or something to do to thrive. The less content you have, if you neglect PvP, that's less content. I'm just going to get bored eventually because I'll finish the tier that you put out. I think PvP is really fun. It adds that element of, the abilities you put together, being able to go into this kind of sequence of being able to do amazing things to stop people and beat them. But also, I think if you're playing a game where there's war and that everyone's trying to fight to survive, that it also sets a setting in that game. Like obviously in World of Warcraft is probably one of the biggest in my, with world PvP. You have like two factions at war, like, and you don't put it as a focus for them to fight each other, that they should be helping each other out. That war means nothing really. So world PvP really puts that setting into effect. You really see it. Two big battles in World of Warcraft really show you, like, okay, this is serious. Like, this war is actually serious, but it's also fun. You get to go outside, you get to meet people, and your boring day of questing or grinding, whatever, you get to put a little spice in. It's more content, going out and fighting people and having a good time doing it, And I think that's why PvP is important. You can't neglect it because, one, it's content, but also at the same time that it gets rid of that feeling of war, gets rid of that feeling of, like, what's the point of me, gearing up, just to kill a boss, and once I'm done to get all the gear from that boss, what do I do after? PvP allows you to do that. Again, I'm going to go back to it. I think PvP's competitiveness is the most important part, because nowadays you have to adapt in these games to make them continue to be successful and continue to be successful for an MMO. I think you add a competitive game type where you also can have the casual stuff like raid, farming gear, farming mounts, farming stuff to get your character better, things like that. And then you have the competitive side. You have people who, instead of logging off or quitting their sub to play a competitive game, now have a competitive game to have fun with and be casual, but also go at it and try to be the best they can be and get a rank up there and get that number and that little picture and symbol next to them, just like they do in Overwatch and League of Legends. And I think it's really important to have something like that in an MMO, because obviously it's a dying trend, and in order to survive, I think it has to put back, or create, it depends on what game you're playing, create a competitiveness to it. And that's why I think PvP is important. That's really it for the video. Not as long as my other ones, but go ahead and follow me on Twitter. I don't really talk much about my videos, but this is just stuff I'll talk about. I follow a lot of streamers and just try to be funny. Follow my Twitch. I play a lot of MMOs. I just did an MC raid before I did this video. It was a lot of fun. Wiped at Rag a few times and then just called it, and then that was really about it. I play a lot of Guild Wars, so follow my Twitch, and then also subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'll be making another one tomorrow. Trying to get out 4 videos a week. Put out as much content for you guys and what I think about MMOs, and also just game videos. So go ahead and give a like to the video too, and then I'll see you guys later.